naked shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Hello. It's Friday, and it's time to just kick back and just think about things. It's been a kind of a crazy week, hasn't it? It's been kind of a lot going on, a lot happened. Especially starting from last Sunday. We've had some crazy stuff happen in Las Vegas where someone shot up people. There's been all kinds of stuff. I have a new grandson. He was born, so I'm pretty happy about that. He was about 7 pounds, 21 inches long. He's named after me, but we're going to call him Leo for short, just to make it a little easier to distinguish all the Ignacios in the family. But, yeah, it's been kind of crazy. It's been a little bit strange. We had a full moon too as well. But it's just been weird. It's been really strange. I mean, for me personally, I can only speak about my experience and how I perceive things, but it's been a little bit weird. So I decided I'm going to play my drums a little bit. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. So we're going to drum for gratitude, we're going to drum for love, we're going to drum for life, we're going to drum for peace, we're going to drum for healing. And we can bring that all to the world. Even as much as there's negative out there and there's things going on, there's a lot of good things happening too in the world. There's a lot of great things happening. I don't strive to live a positive, always positive in life, because there's really no such thing as being super ultra positive. And that's a whole different topic in itself. And that's difficult to do as well. It's all right to be, negative from time to time, but not stay there. You're allowed to have your emotions. You're allowed to feel what you're feeling. And that's important. We have to feel who we are and what's inside of us, because if we don't, then we become very frustrated, we become very angry, we become a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't want to do that. So that's why I want to drum. So, there's all schools and there's all kinds of ideas about what we should do now after this tragedy that happened over the weekend. Some of us believe that we should ban guns and get rid of them, and the other ones are like, well, maybe we should have more legislation about it. Others just are indifferent; they don't care, and some are don't want their guns taken away. I personally don't want my guns taken away. That's just my opinion, but maybe there should be some kind of regulation. Maybe there should be some type of way we can figure it out, but. People will find a way to do bad things regardless, with guns or no guns. People just, when they snap and when they have that moment in time, they just do some crazy stuff. And sometimes they do it, with intent. And sometimes they do it, out of the heat of, that moment, that passion, that moment, that anger, that frustration. Who knows why human beings snap? Who knows why we have bad days? Why we have those moments where we're totally frustrated and we totally just have that angry moment. Who knows? It could be triggered by so many factors, so many things, and things that we just totally forgot about, things that we just totally ignored as children. So how do we move on? How do we move forward? How do we go into that space? How do we get to that place where we don't no longer have to feel that, or at least not feel it every single day? Because there's days that we don't have to feel this way, but we do. So if we come from a place of gratitude, being grateful and having that attitude, because gratitude is the attitude, right? Giving thanks for just the small things that we have in our life is a start. I mean, if you can't find something to be grateful for, then pretend and guess like you can be. I mean, it's a beginning. I mean, there's things I'm grateful for my toilet paper in my bathroom, I'm grateful that it's there. That's gratitude. I'm grateful for the people in my life. That's gratitude. I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for these hands that I have, that I can use them to drum. I'm grateful for this chair to support my back. I'm grateful for this technology in front of me called an iPhone, which is recording a live feed to people all over the world, I guess, or to my group of friends who watch it or will watch it. I'm grateful for the vacuum cleaner that's actually propping up my phone. If you wonder how that was being done. But gratitude can be found. You can find gratitude in anything. As easy as you can find the worst thing in things, you can also find the beauty in things. So how do we move forward? How do we get into that place of love? How do we find love? What is love? For people, love is a difficult word. It's a difficult thing to embrace and accept love, because for some people, they believe that by giving love that they have to give away themselves, part of themselves. And that's fearful when you have to give away pieces and parts of yourself to another person. No, but it's not really giving away. What you're doing is inviting somebody into the space to share those precious moments, those precious, events in that particular moment, and moving on. Love in our language here in the United States is one word that encompasses a lot of things. In other countries, the word love has many meanings, and there's many versions of love. So we can distinguish from love. But since we're here, we have to use inflections of how we feel about love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I really love you right now. You're lucky I love you. If I didn't love you, we'd have a problem. But that we have, in the American language, the English language, that I've noticed is a lot of its inflection, how we talk, is very Germanic, very, very brr, It's not like the Romance languages where, when you say I love you, there's a passion for it. We have to really work hard to say what we're going to say in English, and especially when we're writing text and stuff. I've noticed that, especially reading and writing, people misunderstand sometimes the way I write and the things I'm writing, because I'm trying to get a point across, but I don't have that. I guess it doesn't come across the same way as if I was speaking. But I do my best, and I try my best. But, the thing is to find the love that's inside of us. And how we find the love inside of us, well, could be a lifetime. Then as we move through gratitude and we move through love, we start to heal the pieces and parts of us that are, wounded children, the pieces inside of us that have been totally discounted, or the ones that we've frozen in time. All of us hold little pieces and parts of, ourselves throughout our own history, throughout our own incarnation as human beings in this lifetime. So if something happened to you at 5 and was very traumatic, well, it's very possible, and it's very capable of being carried throughout your whole life, those emotions and those feelings. And as you're carrying them through your life, you have a little child who's actually parenting you, a little child who's actually fearful. And then as adults, we use that as well. Because, in my belief, I don't think we actually are no different. We just gain a lot of experience and a lot of memories and a lot of knowledge. But we also have 5-year-old moments. We play out. We become teenagers. We become defiant. We do things that, would be reminisce and look like we were somebody who was still in middle school or a 5-year-old kid. Why? Because that kid's still inside me. I'm still 5. I'm still 10. I'm still 15. I'm 20. I'm still 49. All those things are carried with me through life. All those things are moving through life with me. Now, I don't have to be that, because I also mature as I move through in my life, and also as I move into that space, into that resonance, into this moment in this present time. And I have all these different versions of Ignacio who have moved with me. all these Iggy's have moved along with me, and they're all trying to, get along and try to work together. But the one prime Iggy, where I'm at now, has to decipher and figure out what's best for all the Iggy's in that moment. So at one time, how does one Iggy from 15 trust the Iggy of 50, which I am now? Is it capable? Is it possible? It could be, it could not be. But most of the times it's not. Most of the time I have to find somebody, another version of myself, who can relate to that. I'm 50, so my experiences are different than the 15-year-old Iggy. But yet, I'm still Iggy. I still take responsibility for those things. I also understand that I don't have to be those things. That I'm not trapped in that victimization role of that person who I used to be. I've moved into a new place and a new experience and new moments. I do different things now. The things I used to do sometimes don't interest me, but they were for a moment and they were for a time. Well, if you wonder what I'm doing today, I'm drumming for Iggy's. I'm drumming for people in my life. I'm drumming for the things that I've accomplished and things that I've fallen short. And I'm just remembering and honoring the pieces and parts of myself who have been stuck. And those pieces and parts of me who are willing to listen to the things that I'm saying today. And, ask for forgiveness, ask for gratitude, ask for love. And come to that place where I can find some peace in my mind and some peace. As we move in through life, we meet other people who are also struggling and going through their things in life, and they're going through all the emotional, memories and experiences, and they're trying to work them into the present moment where they're at. And sometimes it fits and sometimes it doesn't. There are people who are not going to agree with you. There are people who are not going to agree with me, and that's okay, and that's fine. What's difficult sometimes for people is when other people use the words and hurt them with the words like, you're wrong. No, it's this way. I don't know what's right or wrong. I don't know which way is right or which way your way is right for me or not. The only thing I know is what works for me. Maybe you need an aspirin. Maybe I need a Tylenol. Maybe you need a beer. Maybe I need a soda. Maybe I need to dance. Maybe you just need to sleep. Maybe I need to drum. Maybe you hate drums. The point is, do we prove and defend as human beings? Are you proving and defending? Am I here to prove and defend? No. The only thing I can tell you is how I navigate through life. And I navigate through life the best way I can. Either through playful music, through playful play, through dancing, singing, just doing the things that I like to do. I'm not really a conformist. I don't like to do things like necessarily what other people like to do and follow the group. Sometimes I do. But I try to find things that are unique to me, unique to how I feel and how I'm going to feel, how it's going to work my soul, my spirit. Because my soul, my spirit really needs to, connect with the different parts of me that are, totally out of sync with myself. There are parts of me that don't get parts of me. It sounds like there's a whole bunch of people inside of me, but in reality, there kind of is a whole bunch of people inside of me. I have the memories, and I carry the memories of all these people who I used to be. That's why when you get incarcerated, for example, and you committed a crime when you were a young man, you're still in jail because of that action that you created back in the past. Is that person the same person in the future, in that present moment? Well, some would say yes, and some would say no, and some would say they have the possibility to regress. It's possible. I don't know. I don't have an answer. The only answer I have is for myself. For example, if I was 20 years old, there's a part of me that still lingers and has that mentality of a 20-year-old person. I still remember 20. And for some of us, if it was a difficult time, we won't remember 20. But we are, all of us, I am, we are. We are part of all this. We're all connected. We're all part of this huge collective of human beings. All of us are, for less of a term, less than a word, so we're all one. But how are we one? Why is it difficult for other people to say, I am one with another, when they see so much hatred and so much evil in the world, and they don't want to be compared or be engulfed into that? So why is that difficult for people? Why would it be hard to say I am connected with everything? Because you are. We're all part of it. We're all in the ebb and flow of life. We're all part of it. We're all part of the earth. Because when we return to earth, when we return to the dirt, our body goes with it. I don't care if you bomb yourself or not. Eventually, at some point, your body will break down and decompose. And you return to the Mother Earth. Your spirit will go to wherever you believe and you resonate with. Whatever your mind thinks is heaven or hell or whatever you create, you will go there. I'm not here to talk about semantics of religion, because everybody owns their own spirituality, in their own place, in their own resonance where they believe. There are people who are very fanatical about how they believe things, and that's okay. I personally believe that we're more than just locked into a grid, into a book, into things. I think we're more grandiose, we're more bigger than we really give ourselves credit. I think we can do more amazing, powerful things if we believed it and we weren't landlocked and controlled by certain circumstances, the circumstances that we allow to lock us into that place. So I'm not saying that what I'm saying is correct. It's just correct for me. And that's something that human beings, I think, have a hard time understanding, that there's a one way to everything. And there's not a one way to everything. There's many ways to everything. Just like there's roads to get to the same place you want to be. Sometimes some of us have to take the long road around because there's construction. Or maybe we made a choice to go the long road. Some of us want to go the shortest path to get where we need to be, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with going to the shortest path. There's nothing wrong going with the long road. If you're enjoying the moment as you're traveling and observing the things around you, I think is key. Because for me, that would be important, to observe and to experience the things as I'm going on this beautiful ride, this journey of sorts, whatever you want to call it, to this destination, one destination, two destinations, three destinations. Some of us have a hard time understanding that our destinies are predetermined. And when I say predetermined, it's in the sense that we're all going to go back to the grave. We're all going to eventually die. All of us have that same ticket home. What's different and unique about each and every one of us, every single one of us, is how you experience your destiny. How your destiny is laid before you is really up to you. You do have control of that to some degree. There are moments where things happen to you and you get caught in circumstances. That's understandable. But I believe that if you want to experience life through gratitude, through love, through life, through peace, through healing, you can. You can really do that. Will it take work? It may take work. It may require you to do some things that make you uncomfortable. It may require you to do things that you weren't used to doing. And it may be the easiest thing, but you won't know until you try. So if you're looking for that peaceful place in your heart, well, then you have to do things that put you in a peaceful place. If you're a bitter, angry person all the time, it's going to be hard to find that peace of mind in your heart. It's there. Everybody has a peace of mind in their heart if they truly want to look for it. It's as easy as these drums sitting here before me. They can just sit there all day and they never get played. But it doesn't change the fact that they're still drums. But what happens to it is kind of like life. When we connect with these drums, for example, that I have before me, these drums, there's a piece of me that connects to these two drums that are with me. There's a piece of me that comes alive when I hit the skins on top. My fingers, when my hands hit these, there's a resonance. There's a spirit inside of me that moves through me into the drum and the drum back into me. Gratitude and love. You know, we're all on this planet, and we all have purpose. All of us. You know, our purpose may not be what other people's purposes are like, because some of us want to be like other people and want to emulate others and do well. What I find is we all have purpose, and that purpose is just being you, and being you in a way that's authentic, being you in a way that it's natural, a way that you don't have to prove to the other person they like you. And it's not about being grumpy and a jerk about it. Being yourself and going, oh, well, they don't like me because I'm this way. They don't like me, and they can go kiss my ass. You know, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just being who you are. Yeah, sometimes we put little faces on and when we present ourselves to people and when we introduce ourselves to others. And then there's another version of us that we share with the world, with certain people, where we're allowed to cut loose a little bit. And then I know the world is designed that way. We shake hands, we say hello, you know, we hug, we embrace. But there's another world of us, another version of how we present ourselves to the world. And, you know, that version sometimes is not always liked by the world. There's a version of me that some people, if they saw me in like outside these videos, outside these drummings and stuff, they would be surprised that I was more chill and more laid back and like my privacy, and because it sounds like I always like to have fun and jump around and dance and stuff. And that's just a part of me. That's just a little piece of me. That's a version of me. There's a whole other person that a lot of you have not met. Another version of myself who's just sometimes likes to be by himself. Kind of like all of you. There's a version of you. There's versions we share to the world. There's pieces and parts that we share, and there's other parts that we're not going to share, ever. And that's okay. You know, for me to say, oh, I'm going to share all of it to you. Well, there's part of me that I don't like to share because that part of those parts are hurt. Part of those parts aren't willing to express. So I will share with you the parts that are fun, the parts that are funny, the parts that are sad. I'll do my best to share. But I don't have to get naked completely to the world and show everything, because there's parts of me that, you know, are very shy. Believe that or not, yeah, there is a part of me that's very shy. There's a part of me that's very angry. There's a part of me that's very frustrated. And mostly with myself, not with other people. There's another part of me wish I could do more. I wish I was doing more. You know, so how do I get those parts together? Well, I have to work through it. First thing I have to do is learn how to talk to myself. And that's what I've been doing, learning how to speak to me and appreciating who I am on this planet of 7.5 billion people. Probably more now, but there's a lot of people on this planet who all have purpose, who all want to be noticed, who all want to share what's inside their head and their heart. What's holding them back? I don't know. Circumstances, things, you know, ideas, you know, parents, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, another human being. You know, human beings are very powerful creatures. We have the power. Our suggestion is very powerful upon other people. We can actually change lives by just using this right here in front of us, right here. This mouth. Because what we do, when we filter through all the things in our experiences, then we... You know, there was a time where I used to ask people, hey, what do you think? And boy, did I get answers, did I get things that I didn't, wow. You know, but I learned real quick after working with other people, other teachers, ask them how you feel. Because when you ask somebody about their feelings, it's different versus how they think. Because then, you know what? And you tell them, and you go to them, you say, after you hear what they say, you say, thank you for noticing, if they give you a compliment. Thank you for noticing. Take that energy, put it back on them, honoring your space. Because what happens is, sometimes when we get compliments, oh, you're beautiful. You know, some people don't think they're beautiful. And, you know, when they hear that, you know, a whole bunch of things happen in their mind about what happened to them when the last time somebody said they were beautiful. The last time another person said. So someone says, you're beautiful. You say, thank you for noticing. It may sound arrogant a little bit. It may sound a little weird at first. But the energy, try it. The energy will shift. The energy will send it back to them in an honorable way, thanking them. Because if you take the gift of I'm beautiful and you don't believe and you don't honor it, it could be very detrimental to somebody. It could be really harmful. It can be very painful for somebody. Wow, it's just like for you guys out there, for example, your significant other, there's two ways to do it. You can say she buys a new dress, or he buys a new suit or whatever. And the girls as well. I learned that if we compliment in a way that's empowering, like, you make that suit look really great. You make that dress look beautiful. Versus is you look beautiful in that dress. Oh, you look handsome in that suit. Are you telling them that they weren't handsome before? That they didn't look good before? No, of course you weren't. You didn't think that because that's the way you were raised to give compliments. We were raised to share and talk. But if you tell somebody, you know what, you really make that look great, you really make those drums sing, Iggy. Versus like, you're a good drum player. I am only a connection with that. The suit doesn't make me. The dress doesn't make her. They bring those things to life. I bring these drums to life as much as they bring them to life to me. They bring out a part of us, and they inspire us. And that's why I'm here today when I'm talking about gratitude, love, life, peace, and healing. Because there's so much, we focus so much on hateful things. Our media surrounds it. Our leadership surrounds it. Everything is destruction. Everything is disempowerment. It's not all that way. It's not all that way. So how do we move on? How do we move on from the places that we don't want to be anymore? How do we go? How do we get there? Sometimes for me, I just have to say, that experience sucked, but you know what? I'm grateful for it because I learned a lot from it. And moving on is not meaning that you give everything up and just dump everything to the ground. That's one way. That works for some people. Moving on also means just moving out of that little space for that moment and saying, I don't want to be there anymore. Healthy limits and boundaries. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to go out, take a walk. You do what you need to do. But moving on can be as literal as it sounds. Scrapping everything, starting over. Or just taking a time out in that moment. I'm going to move on from this conversation because this conversation is not good for us. I'm going to move forward. It's not good for me. Communication is probably the biggest thing that we are all as human beings still working and striving to improve on. Communication is very difficult for people. And communication doesn't mean being able to express something, but sometimes just being able to feel that emotion that goes along with what we're trying to say. Because when we're angry, we just want to tell the story of how we felt, how we absorbed that punishment, how we absorbed that energy into us, and how it made us feel. Until after we feel that, we aren't going to be able to express or communicate very well. But once we do, there has to be a moment in time where we have to say, okay, I need to get into this place in this frame of mind. And for a lot of us, it's difficult. And that's difficult for a lot of us because we weren't allowed to feel that. We weren't allowed to express our emotions. We came from a father or a mother who was so, wounded herself or himself and punished by his parents or grandparents that, the only thing he knows how to do or she knows how to do is wound another human being as well. We're all walk around with wounded children. All of us have wounded children all over us. And, a lot of us carry these wounded children into our graves, and we never have peace with them. But these wounded children want to heal, because as adults, you have the right and you have the opportunity to heal these wounded children inside of us. Because most of these people who wounded us, a lot of them are dead. A lot of them are old and decrepit, and they're no longer able to even lift a hand on us. But then the memory and the knowledge and what we remember, what we associate with that's what we carry. We carry inside of our head like a computer in the subconscious mind that these people are still going to hurt us. There's a part of us that's the reality and that's true. But just a part. There's another part of us that we can rewrite our story, rewrite our history, rewrite what we think. Because if you can't remember the trauma, then that trauma also can be rewritten in a way that's different. You can change anything you want. I'm a firm believer that you can change the outcome of your world, even the past, even as hard as it was. Because I'll tell you right now, folks, okay? There's a lot of stuff that's happened to people. There's a lot of things that happened to me. A lot of things that, I'm a rape victim. I was raped as a kid, But I moved gradually out of that space of being a victim and owning that, because there was other people who wanted me to stay there. Oh, well, you were hurt. You have to process. You have to feel it. I get that. I understand. There was people who told me, oh, you don't let that ever happen to you again. Well, I didn't want it to happen the first time. But I learned from that experience that, that's not what I wanted. There was a part of me that felt like I was responsible. There was a part of me that felt like, I was guilty. But there was a part of me also felt the love from that, which is freaking weird coming out of my mouth, but it is. There was a part of me that felt like I invited that. And that's the part that I had to face. That was harder for me. Okay, that was harder for me when I was going through the things I had to go through. To listen to me tell myself that, well, maybe you enjoyed it. And I was going, that was difficult, because how can you enjoy that? How can you enjoy something that you didn't invite? But I understand what they were saying. I understood what they were trying to do, and they were trying to work and help me through, process through. And and when I took ownership of what I thought was what I was part of, that I created, then I was able to move into another space. It was hard. It was hard. But now I'm able to share my story, how I moved forward. Was it easy? Not at first. Now it's like if it never really happened. Like if it was just, something I saw in a movie, and the only reason I bring it up and remember it is because I have to. Sometimes just reality check, I guess. I don't know. But I don't have to live that. I don't have to be in that memory. That memory doesn't have to control me. That memory doesn't have to own me. That memory doesn't have to be my crutch, so I can get, assistance and aid and whatever you need, or a psychiatrist that I have to pay $120 an hour so I can share my emotions and feelings. I don't have to be there anymore. I don't have to be in that body and that emotion, that feeling. Yeah, that version of me was hurt and felt a lot of, anger. But that version no longer feels the same way, because now that version understands that it has somebody who can protect him now, who can take the reins and say, that's not going to happen again. I'll make sure that's not going to happen to you, because you know what? Now I know. Now I see. Now I'm better equipped. Now I'm older. I will make sure that you are okay. That version of me goes, okay, I believe you, man. Fist pump. That's the only reason I can move forward, because a part of me in the future was able to say it to the part of me in the past. That won't happen again. I'll make sure you're good. That we'll be all right. And you know what? It did happen, but we're going to move forward. We're going to celebrate the better things to come, the better things to see, the better things to enjoy, the better things to gather from. the better things to share to the world in drum. And I'm happy about that. My drums bring me a lot of passion, a lot of joy, and a lot of spirit, a lot of, heart. I really enjoy playing my drums because it's a way to release emotions, release feelings and things that are inside of me. And it's also a way to honor and respect, the things that I do. And, it also gives you a good workout. It gives you your big arms, these big Popeye arms. So, but other than that, I really just love playing drums. So, I'm glad you stuck around and listened to what I had to say. And it was just one of those moments you just feel like inspired and just wanted to share with the world, what's going on. But, I encourage you to work on gratitude. I encourage you to work on love. I encourage you to work on life. I encourage you to work on peace and healing. Because that's on my drums, if you can see that. Probably backwards, but gratitude, love, life. It's on the skins, and then peace and healing. It's a reminder every time I play, that to be grateful that I'm able to play, that I'm able to, be able to throw down some rhythms and say some rhymes from time to time, and to just to be alive in this moment. A lot of us, me too, sometimes we're like, man, I don't know if I was born in the wrong decade or the wrong century, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I was, but part of me feels that way. But, I was born in this time. I was born in this moment, and I'm in this moment to share in this moment. I get to share in my story. I get to talk, and do the things that I, maybe wasn't able to do before in past lives, if those of you who believe in past lives. But, this is the moment. This is the place I am now. And I have to make the best of it while I'm here. Life is short. We don't know when we're going to, when we have to leave, when we have to cash, our ticket out. We don't know. We really don't know. Like our brothers and sisters, who lost their lives there in Las Vegas, or all around the world, people who've gone through tragedy or some kind of event, a bombing, a landslide, a tsunami, an earthquake. They didn't wake up. They didn't go to bed thinking that they were going to die. Especially the people who are in their 20s and 30s, 10, 11. Maybe an elderly person knows that their life is limited because the clock starts to accelerate a little bit for them. But you know what? None of us know. None of us know. And so I don't know. I don't know what will take to dislodge and to open whatever you need to open inside your heart, inside your spirit, inside your soul, inside your mind, to live the best you can with the tools that you have, and add more tools to your toolbox. I don't know what it will take to do the things that you want to do, accomplish the things you want to accomplish. But I am here to tell you, you can do it. You can accomplish with the right direction, in the right planning, the right formulation, to get closer and closer each day to your goal and to your dream, and to that place that you need to be, the place that you feel that you have to be, that place that you are striving to be at. If you're happy where you're at, and you're happy with the things that are going on in your life, then there's nothing really to talk about. You're okay. But I find that hard to believe that we're okay. We're okay with what we just have. I'm not saying we want to accumulate things in possessions. I'm talking about getting in that place where nothing matters. If you lost everything tomorrow, they came and took your house, they came and took your cars, you could just say, they're just things. And what matters is what's in here, what's me. They can't take that unless I give it to them. Unless I open up myself and expose myself to those attacks, those verbal attacks, those physical attacks. That's the only way I can take that. You know? We're born into this world naked, and we go back to the mother naked. We return. You know, we all come from the conception, the delivery. You know, we were all in there 9 months living in this world of comfort, this world of, warmth, this world with muffled sounds. You know, we all were in there waiting our turn, but we didn't know what was going to happen. We just knew what was there and then. And then one day, the process began where we had to be born into this new reality, this new world. As you're sitting in there as a baby, the only thing you know is where you're at. And as you're being pushed out little by little, slowly, sometimes dramatically, sometimes through C-section, we come into this other realm where we start to feel air. We start to feel cold or heat, touching, feeling, somebody grabbing us. But we're still connected to our mother through the umbilical cord, so we're still connected to her at that slight moment. And then at that one moment, somebody separates us from the person who was nurturing us, our Mother Earth, our mother, our biological mother. Snip. And then all of a sudden, we're filled with emotions. We're filled with adrenaline. We're filled with panic, fear. And sometimes some of us don't breathe because we've never breathed before. We've never taken our first breath. We don't know what that's like. And then all of a sudden someone grabs us, puts a syringe in our nose, gets the mucus out, smack us in the ass, and the next thing you know, we feel pain for the first time. We feel emotions for the first time that we never felt. We take a breath and we breathe for the first time. And then we're in the world. And all of a sudden, those 9 months of preparation have totally changed. Whatever was in those 9 months have totally shifted into a whole new realm of existence. We are now into this place where we are in another dimension, another reality, another thing. We can never return to delivery. We can never go back into our mother and return to her like we were once. Because every time we move into the next evolution of ourselves, the next spiritual aspects of ourselves, the physical aspects of ourselves, we're evolving. We should evolve, we should change. This life is preparing us for the next evolution of who we are on a spiritual realm, a physical realm. Because we will leave this planet. We will leave this earth. Or maybe we don't leave anywhere. Maybe we're just still here. Just make it simple. We came from conception and delivery. And from that, we came into the reality of human existence. And from human existence, we'll move into a whole new world. You know, even the ants don't see us because we're so big to them. We're like shadows in the night when we come by. How many times do we not notice things that are so big around us? Imagine this. There are things around us that we don't see because we don't have the perception of the eyes to see it, but it's there. It's all around us, and it affects us. Same way we affect other worlds within our world. And one day we will check out of this one, and we move into another one, and we'll never return to this one. We'll be into a new expression of who we are and what we're doing. So, preparing yourself, how we're going to move, and how we're going to go into the space that we need to be. So I invite you to look at it, express it, feel it how you need to feel. Let it be what it needs to be. Enjoy this world today for what it is and what it's teaching us. Enjoy this magical trip that you're on. Okay? Because when we dream or we're in the reality, which is real? The dream or the reality? Many question that. That's a whole other topic. It's a whole other show. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to my drum version show. Okay, moving on. Episode 32 of Iggy Live. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And I'm going to drum us out of here. All right, later, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.